This morning, deposed Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife are back in a Brooklyn detention center awaiting their next court date. The two pleaded not guilty yesterday to 4 federal charges, including narco-terrorism. The couple was captured by U.S. forces in the Venezuelan capital on Saturday amid a military strike. Now, back in Venezuela, Vice President and Maduro loyalist Delcy Rodríguez was officially sworn in as the country's interim president. Rodríguez is striking a delicate balance as she tells the U.S. she wants lasting cooperation while also condemning Maduro's arrest as a kidnapping. And we're also starting to see the real human consequences of the U.S. military operation play out. An 80-year-old Venezuelan woman who died Saturday after the strike was laid to rest. Her family says explosives shattered their home and caused a lung contusion. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano is in neighboring Colombia with the latest on Venezuela's political future.
Starting yesterday with the moment when Delcy Rodríguez was sworn in as the new interim president of Venezuela, we have been starting to see the regime show its full force of repression, as they have done in the past, ongoing since last year's election. We were there during the election, or not last year, but mid-2024. We were there during the election when there was all of this excitement over the possibility of people going to the polls and democratically choosing their new leader. Except after the election, despite the evidence that showed that Edmundo González Urrutia, supported by the leader of the opposition, Maria Corina Machado, had won by around 40 points, the state of Venezuela immediately clenched its claws and Maduro held on to power. How they did that, what we saw was an immediate persecution of dissent, an immediate sense of intimidation, not just from the official forces of the state, but from the famous colectivos, these groups that work for the interests of the regime and that intimidate and threaten, but somewhat outside of the law. Masked, hidden, talking about the interests of their communities, but really under the guide and guidance of some of the most powerful people in the state. We have been seeing messages and images and videos that I've been receiving from Venezuela that show these checkpoints where people's cell phones are being checked to follow an order that was also issued for all of the state's official forces, for the police, for the national, local, and state police, to identify, search, and immediately capture anybody who is perceived to be supporting or expressing support, rather, for the attack that happened on Saturday. That is how they persecuted dissent after the election, and it's what we can expect to see in the coming days. Back to you.